big one of them all, the Col du Tourmalet, and that is the only reason that the big riders in that pack have never been seen at the front today. They've been putting their domestiques, their team workers right up there. Riccardo Rico's taken full advantage of that by launching an attack towards the top of the Col d'Aspin that it seems nobody can answer.
Well, you can see that's not really a very large group that we're looking at charging into the town here of Bagnères de Bigorre, and a lot of that damage was done not only over the climb of the Col d'Aspin, Phil, but also on the descent of the Col d'Aspin as well. Tête de la course, and this man will be happy to know that at 3.5 kilometers to go, he's still got himself a minute advantage over the yellow jersey group. Very shortly the pain will disappear from his legs and he will happily be celebrating, putting his arms to the sky, his second victory in the Tour de France and his fourth Grand Tour stage victory this season, with the two that he got in the month of May.
He turned professional. This is his only professional team, the Sony Duval Scott team, and he's turned pro here. And he's just about starting midway through his third term as a professional. He's only won 10 races. He's about to make it 11, I think. Vladimir Efimkin here is trying to hold off a field, and he's dangling at 4 kilometers to go.
Well, it's now the turn of Team Lampre to come up to the front end of the main field. You can see on the front there in the yellow jersey, as we go back to Riccardo Rico, Kim Kirken looking fairly comfortable. Not a lot of teammates around him, but he's defended safely here this afternoon as we're now pretty much into the outskirts of Bagnères de Bigorre, not too far away from a nice little hotel owned by a former two-time Tour de France winner, Laurent Fignon.
That's where we stayed last night. I didn't see Laurent buy us a drink in the bar, but never mind. This is where we are. The turns now take us into the town. Sylvester Smith is the Lampre rider, setting the pace to try and hold them in the sights. But this guy has just lost 2 seconds of his lead. At that rate, he's not going to get caught. I think he knows it.
Efimkin holding on to second place on the road this afternoon. He's trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of glory for AG2R. Again, it's Cees d'Epargne coming to the front for the team of Alejandro Valverde. But I think this is really just a question of psychologically showing everybody else that they are a strong team and they're ready to come out and do battle again tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Pyrenees.
Well, we're into the outskirts. It must be a great feeling now. That's a 2-kilometer banner in front of him there. Vladimir Efimkin trying to nip a few seconds before the big day. He sits 25th overall, 3 minutes off the race lead. It's not going to be much of a game worth talking about. Then they swing over the river, which really did rise in the night. Believe me, we slept on the side of that river. We were in a hotel room, I should add. As we race into the barriers now, that's always a great feeling.
It certainly is. He gets closer to the finish. He now knows that it is almost completely and utterly over for him for the afternoon. He realized that he had to ride a long way from the top of the Col de l'Aspin, 26 kilometers from the summit down to the finish line here in Bagnères de Bigorre, and now there's only 1.6 kilometers left to go to the finish line. The main field have pretty much given up, sitting on the back there for Sony Duval Scott as his teammate Leonardo Pipoli, who was pretty much a part of setting up the attack there for Riccardo Rico, because he softened the blows that allowed Riccardo Rico to go over the top and get this lone lead.
Absolutely. He'll be the first to congratulate him when they get to the finish now, looking for the kite in the sky that indicates the last 0.6 of a mile or 1 kilometer to go. Riccardo Rico running down a barrier here, strangely devoid of people, but you know, there aren't too many people live in this town, but wait till you see them in the high street, as there is the kilometer to go banner.
1,000 meters to go for Riccardo Rico, and probably, Phil, the reason there are not too many people in the town of Bagnères de Bigorre here is because they were all on the slopes of the Col de l'Aspin. It's impossible to get down to the finish line from the top of that col.
That's absolutely right. Well, tomorrow we go climbing again, even higher than today, but today it is owned by Riccardo Rico. What a champion, 24 3/4 years of age, his second Tour de France. He's about to win his 4th race of the year. So his victories in the Tour of Italy at Agrigento and Tivoli, he's now going to add his wins in the Tour de France at Superbès and Bagnères de Bigorre. 4 wins, but what wins they are. All that remains now, never mind the grimace, is a smile and a 2-arm salute. He's not dreaming of winning the Tour de France, he is simply dreaming of winning as many stages. Next year, I reckon he'll be here to win the Tour de France.
Well, that's what he said, Phil. He wanted to come here, wanted to learn, he wanted to try and win as many stages as possible, and this is the best way to do it. No inhibitions at all. He's not holding anything back from his efforts this afternoon, Phil. All he wants to do is show how good he can be and will be in the future.
There it is. It's all over. I've just won 2 stages. Sonia Duval Scott, he points at his team. It's his victory today.